Viv and Dan. They should. I sent
Yeah, I
Viv
got
a.
them.
Okay, I sent her a link.
You're live.
Hello,
Hi.
welcome. Hey, it's us again, and we're here for Witchy Whims. Hey, Viv's here, and hopefully, are we going to get Dan too?
Dan sends his apologies. He can't make it tonight. He's looking at a new car. He had a car accident 2 weeks ago, and
Oh,
he
wow.
was in hospital for a while, but he's okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, yeah, and that always bites because then you have to, figure out what kind of car you're going to get and where you're going to go shopping for it. I hate car shopping. It's terrible. Anymore, you can do it online, but still not good, not great. So, here I got my for you guys because it's my English teddy. He came from Harrods.
Oh, did he?
So yeah, and of course I have to break out the English accent for you. You couldn't go to lunch with the Queen and not have one.
Do you know, the English accent is more common now. It's not what I call the upper class English anymore. It's like, all right, mate, what you doing? It's all like that. So
my cousin used to say, "Hello, Mum. Bloody nice day we're having," and she'd say, "Oh, Patrick, please don't say bloody. It's so rude." Yeah. So that was my aunt was from York.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right in that area. So they got married at the chapel. There's the big cathedral there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was good. That was back in the 50s. So, how long have you been in paranormal, Viv?
Ooh, that's a hard question because I started my life from the age of 3 seeing spirit and talking to spirit, and it was with me through my childhood, and my childhood wasn't a happy one because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward to my teenage years, it sort of went and then came back with a vengeance. In my early 20s, it came back with a vengeance. And then I ended up going to spiritualist church, sitting in circle. I was told that either you're going to have to use it or lose it, and they chose me to use it.
Uh-huh.
So from spiritualist church through my training of understanding what's going on, it took 9 months from walking into that closed circle to actually serving the church and giving, you call them gallery readings over there.
Yes, and I've been to spiritualist church before where they've done the readings.
Yeah, so they didn't do that for me. They had me sitting and doing the Sunday service, which is not just the gallery reading; it's giving the address from spirit. So spirit talked through me, and then address the congregation. So I used to do that. Then do the prayers with them. My guide would come through and give all that. And then from there, from doing the churches, a lady, she came up to me and she said, "Look, I know you get a lot because a lot of people come to you afterwards wanting more and more and more. Of course, you've broken that link; you can't do it." But she said to me, "I have a problem in my house, and I have a 7-year-old son. Can you come to my home and help me?" And of course, I said to her, "Of course I will. If I can help, I will."
Right.
So that introduced me to the world of paranormal, if you like. So I was more helping people with issues in their home and getting rid of unwanted guests. But then with that came a lot of courses. I had to do, I went to the College of Psychic Studies.
Oh, wow.
When I did a lot of courses there, then I did the course for, when people have deceased loved ones, and it's more like sort of counselling courses and that sort of thing. So I did all of that. And so that, I suppose, would have been my introduction to the paranormal, because from there it went to just, I had a fascination with, well, what types of hauntings there were, why they happen.
Yeah.
Could they be real?
How did you find your spiritual guide, your spirit guide? How did you find that entity?
Well, that was quite interesting because He made me work for it. So he didn't just appear. I had to sit and meditate near enough every day.
Mm-hmm.
I had to, at first I would hear his voice.
Uh-huh.
And then after a fashion, he'd begin to show himself, but not, it didn't come straight away. I met my spirit guide, my spirit animal, if you like, before I met my spirit guide.
What was your spirit animal?
It was a jaguar. It was quite funny
Oh,
because
neat.
I had a jaguar cat that could actually open his mouth and talk human. It just weird, absolutely weird.
Well, yeah, it is a little weird thinking of the cat, just talking to you like in a normal voice.
But it's funny because I don't like cats. I'm more a dog person,
Oh,
and
really?
and I ended up
I
with a
think your spirit
spiritual
animal's
cat.
a big cat.
And then I got two cats, and this cat that I have now, this one cat, he's so obsessed with me, besotted with me, and he'd be in here walking across the keyboard now if I'd let him.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
just doesn't
But
leave me alone.
I think Bob is kind of in love with me, but I keep telling him, bestiality is a hard limit, and I'm never going to say yes. So you can stop asking anytime. So,
Yeah.
but Bob's a character, he runs about the neighborhood, and they're always, talking about him. I think he was with the Mexican mafia for a while. So, yeah.
But you know how you get a spirit animal first, and then after that, I met my guide, and when I met my
Okay.
guide, I was at. Oh, do you know what? It sounds awful, but I was so disappointed when I first saw him because
He was
because
probably
everybody
like, "Oh, what a letdown."
because everybody else have they have these Native American chiefs or the
Uh-huh.
warriors or
Something
uh,
more glamorous.
yeah, and I had it was a Canadian Indian. He
Okay.
stresses Canada side, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, and
He's
he
proud
was
to be
just
Canadian, eh?
and he was just an elder, an elder of a tribe. So
Uh-huh.
he's nothing special, and he's
Yeah.
so old and weather beaten. Even his wrinkles has wrinkles. That's how bad
Oh
he is.
my.
But I
I
love
think,
him. I wouldn't be
was
without
he
him.
an actual person that lived, in
Yes,
Canada? He was.
he
Okay.
did. Yeah, yeah.
Did he live
And
like
the,
a super long time ago, like Paleolithic, or was it more
oh
recent?
well, he took me. It's just so weird. He took me on a visit to Canada. Not physically. This is spiritually. He took me to a visit to Canada, and it's on the base of some mountains wherever they were, and he showed
Mhm.
me my own grave.
Wow.
And I said, "And why are you showing me this?" He said, "We did walk together once." He told me that we walked together, so I must have
Oh,
been as part of his tribe. I don't
yeah.
know, which is why
Fantastic.
he's with me. But
Right.
I do have a second guide that pops in. He's not liked by my gatekeeper. Um, he's a personality, was a boxer, and he wants me to give messages to his son. And tracking down his son
Uh-huh.
to give those messages is going to be very hard for me to do,
Yeah.
and I don't
Yeah.
think his son would want to hear it. So
No.
I just said to him, if you won't leave, then until I do that, then you just stay where you are. So he does. So
So he's just
um,
hanging around with you.
well,
Is
I've
he
actually
annoying or?
I have learned a lot from him too. I mean, he blew millions and millions of dollars in his lifetime. He wasn't very nice to women in his lifetime, and
Oh.
he also had a drink and drug problem.
Mm,
Um, but
yeah.
the stories
Well,
that he's told me, I've
yeah.
learned from. So
Well, and you should make him pay just a little for all that meanness, and just give him a little jab now and then when you can. Oh Lord.
I don't mind. He has helped me in churches as well. I mean, this boxer has sat on the laps of ladies and cuddled them, and it's funny to see because they can't feel a thing. And he
Right.
says this is the one that the reading's for. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'm talking to her while he's doing all sorts to her, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
Do they just kind of extend information to you from the other side? Is that kind of how it works, or?
I can see, feel, and hear smell and taste, and I have a lot. So sometimes it's funny because when I first stand there, especially doing in churches,
Mm-hmm.
I'll stand there and I'll open up and it feels like I get rushed. So I stand there and I think, ooh, they all come running. It's like a rush of people, and I can see them. And then my guide will, or to the right hand side of me, he'll make them get in a queue. It's so funny, and he'll make them get in a queue, and then I can hear them bickering and arguing with the cook in the queue. I'm before you. No, you weren't. I was here for. I hear that
Funny.
seriously.
Well, that's so funny. And then, so like, how does that work? Like, how do you know? How did you know, like, the first time that you were definitely, psychic and not just and have an active imagination? Because I'm at that point where I think I
Okay.
maybe just have an active imagination.
Well, at 3 years old, I was a bit of a tomboy, and my parents were having a tough time, and I would sit in the hallway and line all my cars up, and my mum would be in the living room, daytime TV ironing or something, my
Mhm.
sister would be around somewhere, and that's my cat trying to get in. If you can hear that, I apologise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to let him in. Can I let him in?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob's outside, or he'd be in here too. So, oh, here's fake Bob. I have fake Bob with me today. I manifested my cat. He looks exactly like this, and this was the thing that I was holding and petting when I was thinking about getting a cat. And Bob shows up.
Oh,
I
here he is.
manifested him.
Here he is. I'll introduce you to him. He's
Okay.
called John. He's called
John.
John.
Okay.
He loves to come online. I'll show you.
Nice. He's so handsome.
He is.
Love that. That's great. You got a witch's cat there. He's kind of like a familiar.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got the broom hanging on the ceiling. I've got
Nice.
a silver broom that was painted like a proper broom.
Nice.
It has ribbons and everything on it, and it's just hanging from the ceiling. So
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So
yeah, and so you can be skeleton key witch, too.
So I was sitting playing with my cars, and then I saw this man. I thought it was going to be my dad coming home from work, because we have like a half moon shape glass in the front door, solid wood door. And I thought it was my dad coming home from work, and he put the key in the door, heard the key, the latch went, door opened, and there's another different man standing there with a long raincoat and a trilby hat and a briefcase.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at him and I was so scared, and he came in, brushed his feet on the mat that we had there, and then turned around, shut the door. He saw me, acknowledged me. He just went like that, and then proceeded to walk down the hallway where I was sitting and walk straight through me, out through to the back kitchen, and where the back door was. He sort of just disappeared through the wall.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I started screaming. My mum came out. Of course, I slapped me, sent me to bed for being irrational.
Telling stories, yeah.
Yeah. And then it was like a couple of years later, my mum actually witnessed him. And my mum's she's not a psychic. She's not sensitive. She's not an empath. She's nothing. And she saw him for herself. Wow. And that was the day we moved out of the house. But I had years of it. I had years and years of it,
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's really interesting, though. I mean, it's fascinating how these things occur, and how people can just like, oh yeah, I see dead people.
So I didn't just see them, but I could talk to them. I mean, they would tell me so many horrible things and different things. And I would go and tell my mum, and my mum would slap me and say, "Don't be stupid," So
do they remember how they died? Do they all remember how they died?
Well, this particular man didn't even know he was dead. So it was a neighbour a few doors down. It was an old fella who said
Uh-huh.
that a bomb had gone off at the bottom of our property where the house
Oh,
initially was. A bomb
yeah.
had gone off in the war and took a row of houses out, and
Uh-huh.
that's how he died. So he didn't even know he
He
was
died
dead.
suddenly, so he didn't know he was dead.
Wow.
That happened to my cat, Wilson. He got hit in the road, and it was so sudden that I think he didn't know he was dead because I saw him come back to the house, like, that day or the next day or whatever. And
Yeah.
he was just there for a minute. I think he came back and figured out he couldn't eat his food, and then thought, well, I got to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. They just don't even know they're dead.
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen where as a kid and going out with my dad on day trips, it was horrible because I would see people hanging in trees. I would see people in crash condition
Uh-huh.
with their bodies mangled, but
So
still
you've seen
walking.
them like as post-death kind of
Yeah, yeah,
apparitions. Wow.
yeah. And
That's
so,
how you have
like,
to take when you're a little kid.
yeah, and people say that, oh, mediumship's so glamorous, and I'm a medium. And I said, seriously, if you were a true medium seeing all of that, you wouldn't want to see it. You wouldn't want to be a
No,
medium.
no, it's like, yeah, it would be like a horror movie, daily. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I
And,
suppose
you get people that want their children to, because children are so, yeah, they are easy manipulated. And they're
uh-huh,
taught by their parents. And if parents are enforcing their children, oh yeah, like my child's a medium, blah. I always
mhm,
say to them, let them have a childhood because I never got one. Let them have
uh-huh,
a childhood. If it's meant to be later on, they will still have it. They
uh-huh.
can still do it, but let them have a childhood. Don't
Yeah,
encourage it.
right, right. It's like stardom at an early age. You have to kind of, really think about that because they don't get a normal childhood at
No.
all. Yeah.
No, like my
No.
daughter, when she was, I think, 13, she was seeing the spirits and they were talking to her. And
Yeah.
she's trying to go to sleep. She's like, they're talking to me in Old English. Mom, I don't even know what is he trying to say to me? And she's like, I just needed to shut off. So I just shut it off. I just told them, I'm like, she doesn't want this right now. If she wants to revisit it later, sure, but you're not welcome to keep accessing her.
Yeah. My son was 5 years old, my youngest son, and he would sit on the stairs and have a conversation with someone that wasn't there. And I thought, well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is interesting. So I tried from the living room, I tried to link in and I couldn't. There was blockages everywhere. And I'd come out and say, Damon, who are you talking to? Oh, it's just a sweaty man. That's what he'd say, sweaty man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I would try because the answers that the backwards and forwards with the conversation, the
Right.
answers
Right.
Damon were giving
Hmm.
was not like the words of a child. It was someone
Mm-hmm.
who was. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
I would try every time this happened. I'd try and link in. I'd got blocked in every way, shape, or form.
Uh-huh.
Then I took my son because I used to serve in so many churches, and I took my son to Spiritualist church. I
Hmm.
put his headphones on. I said, "There's your Game Boy. Just sit there and play with your Game Boy." I said, "And don't worry about what Mum's doing."
Yeah.
And this medium came to me, and she said, "I was the very last person," and she said to me, "I'm coming to you, madam, if I may." And I thought, great, because I never get a reading. So to get a reading from someone is special to me.
Uh-huh.
And she said, "No, I'm not coming to you. I'm coming to your son, if I may." I went, "Oh, okay
Uh-huh.
then." I said, "I'll
Yeah.
take his headphones off." And she said, "I can see your guide standing behind you." And I'm crossing my arms thinking, "Oh, this will be good." She said, "Mum, he's got a blacksmith standing behind him." She said, "He's
Oh,
got his tools in his hand and he's showing him the swords and the horseshoes."
Uh-huh.
And I thought, oh, crikey. The sweaty man now makes sense.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she
yeah,
said,
because he was a blacksmith, of course, yeah.
so then she was saying, oh, he's got to walk with him throughout his life.
Uh-huh.
But your son, she said, I'm afraid he won't be very academic, but he'll be
Oh
good with his
no.
hands. He'll be good with his hands. So
Okay.
now my fast forward 26 years later, my son has no mediumistic skills at all. He doesn't see his
Oh,
guide. He has no interest in it whatsoever. But
well, bummer.
he's a motorbike and car mechanic. He works
Oh,
for
there you
nice.
go.
Yeah, that's good though. I mean, that's actually a really good job to have and
Mm-hmm.
always in demand, always.
But I always used to say to my son, tell him to go away. Tell him to go away. And so I told him to go away, so he did. So he'd come back again. I said, did you tell him to go away? He said, yeah, I told him to go away. Because I didn't want my son to have that childhood that I have, where you get that interference from spirit, because it's frightening. It's frightening.
Yeah. Well, and it's your friends don't understand, and they kind of, it's hard enough to fit in when you're little, Yeah. So I got to ask you though, what does sponduli mean?
Spondulis, it's just a made up word. So spondulis, that's good. Spondulis, good stuff. Spondulis, good stuff. It's great. It's a sponduli. It's just a made up word to.
Okay.
It's nothing.
Well, we
really.
have ones like that. Squirple is the color of the sky, like at sunrise when it's all pink and purple, and or sunset, when it's that pretty purpley pinkish blue, all the colors together. We call it squirple.
Yeah, spondulis is just like a slang word. It's a made up word that doesn't actually mean anything.
That's all right.
We have a lot of those, especially coming from London. The Londoners just seem to make up words.
Yeah.
Which has just got which is just nonsense that don't actually mean anything, really.
Yeah. Well, and we're kind of like that in America too. Like we'll call a coincidence a kaspoinky doinker.
Or a coinky dink.
Yeah, a coinky dink.
I love
it. Yeah, it's a coincidence.
Oh, I love that.
I wonder about coincidence, and what do you guys think about it? Is there such a thing as coincidence?
Yes.
I don't think so. Well, yeah. I mean, it's all a reason, right? Everything has a reason.
That's what I think too, that there's more reason behind it. And it's not just coincidence. There was a divine plan in action here that we just didn't see before. And now it's like,
I don't know. I think there is such thing as coincidence. I think there is coincidence and there is divine plan. I think there is both. But people get them confused, I believe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that could very well be, because you have to wonder then, when you go, oh, wow, that was a big coincidence. Oh, well, maybe it wasn't.
I've got to kick the cat out. He's scratching at the door.
Oh, okay. They're so funny like that. They want in, then they want out. Then they want in, then they want out.
Over and over again.
He wants to sit across the keyboard and I won't let him. So he sits there. That's it. I'm going.
It's no fun in here. I gotta go now.
You can see my witch up there. I've got a witch from Pendle Hill.
Oh, yeah. And you got a skeleton, too.
Oh, that's Iggy.
Yeah.
That's nice. Iggy Pop. That's Iggy Pop.
Nice.
Oh, we do love Iggy Pop.
Yeah. I love Iggy Pop. I love, Sid, and the Sex Pistols. Man, I love the Sex Pistols. I was so jealous. My cousin went to the American school there for, a lot of them were in the Middle East or whatever their parents were. So then they came and went to, I can't remember that it's Tardis or Tunis or something like that. Anyway, he went to school there, but it was like 1979. And Sex Pistols were like raging. Punk was like really hot in London. And he got to go there and I did not. And I was so bummed out.
Well, John Lydon. So I'm plugging in my laptop's about to run out of battery, so I'm trying to plug it in at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
John Lydon now lives in California, and his wife is quite, she's not very well, lady, but he lives out in California now. And my ex-partner used to know the Pistols really well. John Lydon, Glenn Matlock. I know Glenn Matlock, and he still does a lot of gigging and stuff like that. But
fun.
Sid Vicious replaced Glenn, I think. And Sid wasn't liked very much because he was crazy. He used to do a lot of slashing and blood and
Sid was kind of a jerk, but entertaining.
I don't know. I didn't like. They frightened me. I was a bit young, so I missed out on the madness of the punk era. But I really loved the New Romantics. That was my thing. And I'm crazy about this guy. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. He's on my wall there. That side.
Oh yeah, I can't see him.
He's Adamant.
Oh, Adamant! I love Adamant. He's awesome.
So Adamant. I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks.
Are you really?
I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks. So
Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
stoked. I'm gonna. Well, that's a sign to
You're
put a
so
picture of
lucky.
it.
That's so awesome.
I keep telling people he's my real husband.
Oh, it's
Oh, Chantel, she's my paranormal daughter.
oh, yay.
I've adopted Chantel.
Oh, nice. I think I might have talked to her in another podcast not too long ago
Yeah,
because
it
I
was last
mentioned
week.
about
Yeah.
you guys coming to see us, and she's like, "Oh, that's my mother."
Love her
That's
to bits.
awesome, though. That's awesome.
Well, I have a question for you, Viv. With, like all these spirits that you've seen and all these people that you've worked with, have you come across like shadow people?
Oh, yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, I have. But do you know what? I find them spirits that haven't had enough energy to manifest themselves properly, so they show themselves in the shadow form. I've also seen, which you're going to find interesting, and the only way I can describe it is, that film The Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
You know when the predator does cloaking,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you can see the outline of the predator, but it's like shaking in the middle. I've
Yes.
also seen that in properties as well. So I think again, it's the way spirit want to show them, or the only way they can show themselves. And I've heard recently, which I don't know if I'm excited about it or not, is the Bigfoot does this cloaking thing, and it does all that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I am gonna be looking into it when I get back out to Oregon again. I am gonna go squatching. This is
Yeah.
something that I want to do. I've wanted to do for a long time, because I think
You got alien watching?
No, I mean I'm more cryptid than alien. I love spiritualism, the spirits, the ghosts, and I love Bigfoot and all the cryptid side of things. They are all linked somehow, some way. I don't know what. I don't know.
Maybe
don't know.
Bigfoot is actually an alien that got left here or something.
I don't know. Well, they say that there's a lizard man, which is UFO alien.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the greys, which is alien. Maybe Bigfoot is. My light keeps going off. I'm not going to leave it off. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I have asked quite these questions, but
yeah.
yeah.
And that's the fun in this is that there's still questions to be answered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just say it is what it is. It's nice while it's there, and the mysticism.
Yeah.
It's like the witchcraft side of things. I mean, I did a lot of research into witchcraft. What is it? Why is it? Who is it? And I found that absolutely fascinating.
Yes,
and my journey through the witchcraft thing has now sort of come to an end. But it's still there. I still have a witch hanging up in the back up there. There's a big one up there, and I've got a broomstick.
So you don't really actively practice witchcraft then?
No. I practice something else. I practice something else, which is not witchcraft, but it always has a fascination. It has left an imprint in with me, like kitchen witch. I did a lot of research into kitchen. Oh, what is a kitchen witch? What does she do? What is that about? And so when I'm cooking with food and putting intent into the food, I still do that. And I think a lot of occultism, no matter what you do, is all about intent. All the herbs, all the candles, everything else, all the paraphernalia just helps with intent. It doesn't matter what it is you're doing. It's just the intent behind it,
Yes.
It's helping you focus in. Yeah.
Yeah. And all this accoutrements do. They just help you focus on getting to that place, within you and focusing your intent. Yeah.
Definitely. I think intent is important in life, whatever you do. Before we even look at witchcraft or any occultism, the intent is already there. It's what a human being has got. Right. It's the one weapon we have that's inbuilt with us is intent.
Right.
Whether we use it for good, bad, or whatever, we all have it. It depends how you want to use it.
Right. And that's what I keep telling people. Don't think that terrible thought of, oh, it's always going to be like that, or nothing's ever going to change. It's always going to be like this, or whatever. Don't ever say that.
Right.
Just giving
Chantel,
it a voice. You've just given that intention.
Chantel says she was a witch burnt at a stake in a previous life. I'm certain of. It wouldn't have been an English witch then. It could have been European. I don't know, Scotland. They did a couple. It might be a European witch, because in England all the witches here were hung.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I think in America they probably burned witches at the stake.
Yeah, they did a couple different things. Like I know I was a witch and it was like Salem and they bashed my head in with a rock.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So my husband saw that life and cleared that for me. But yeah.
Do you know
Wow.
that there was a thing that they did here, and it wasn't just for witches, it was for other prisoners as well. They did a torture here called pressing.
Oh, yes,
So
I've
they
heard of
put the stones on and more
Hmm.
stones on and more stones
Mhm.
on until they got the confession that they
Yes.
wanted. And a lot of people passed away before they got the
Yeah.
the answers that they want. So I'm just
Yeah.
Imagine
wondering.
that. Oh, God. What isn't that horrid? The things that man has done to their fellow man,
Yep.
and a lot of it even was like, under the supervision of the church.
Hmm.
Yeah, but you say that though, but some of the tortures that they gave the witches here, well, I know of here in England,
Mhm.
that they still use today to extract information from political prisoners.
Isn't that
So
terrible though that they do that
they
like
still use it.
modern
So
day? It's
yeah, one of
crazy.
them is keeping people awake. So they
Oh,
Oh
make
yeah.
them walk and keep them
sleep
awake.
deprivation they call
Yeah, they're
it.
still using that today. And even the
Yeah.
water torture thing, they
Yeah.
still use that today.
Yeah.
It's we've not learned. We've not learned from
No.
history, as you
No.
Yeah.
know.
No, we really haven't. And they do too the thing with the they'll play really loud rock music.
Mhm.
You'll be like blindfolded and sitting in a chair and they'll just be blaring, Axl Rose or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love it. I'll be sitting there moshing, giving it all of that. I wouldn't mind it.
Actually we did that, but it was the Sex Pistols. We
You know,
played the Sex Pistols.
the Sex Pistols are okay, but they're
Yeah.
pretty boring. They're pretty boring, to be honest.
Well, because after about 4 or 5 songs, they all start to sound the same. Then after that,
And John Lydon can't sing. He cannot sing, so that's
he
funny.
can't sing. Yeah,
You know, Nellie, I've got to say, are you sitting in front of a window with cars passing by?
me,
No, Nellie.
I'm
Nelly.
sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
Are you sitting in front of a window that has cars passing by?
Yeah, it's over here on the side. Yeah.
And they wouldn't have lights on, would they? Not at the time of day that
Nope,
you
nope, no
are.
lights.
Because I don't know if anybody else has been seeing it, but I see bright lights around you a lot. And they sort of go past as though they're sort of just coming
Oh,
past you.
it's probably the fairies. Everybody tells me the fairies are everywhere around me, so they're just everywhere. So
I thought it was somebody quite big that just stood behind you for just a few moments and then scooted by. Saw me and then went, oh, and then just scooted by. I just
Mhm.
thought, oh, you've got a few visitors in your home there.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a few,
I actually like so early on in my journey, I like saw my first energy healer, and she told me that I had to like dial it back because she saw so many lights around me of like benevolent spirits who were there wanting to help you. She goes, but it's like overwhelming. She's like, you've got to set your intent to tell them, I only want to hear the messages that are the most important for my journey right now. Because
Yeah.
she just said there was so much support, right? And so like I do set that intention, but I'm always like seeing flashings in my eyes, which I know means that there's someone trying to talk to me. But I've just been so exhausted with the solstice and moving that I just haven't, I've just been tuning them out. I'm like, guys, I don't got the time right now to try and figure out what you're trying to say. But
there's I just got the feeling that the person that I saw standing behind you was a man. I just got that masculine type feeling that he's big.
mm-hmm.
you won't want to mess with him. But he's not there now. I can't see him there now. But I just got that. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't know who he is. I don't know
Yeah.
who he is.
My uncle, my great uncle, shows up a lot, and so in his last life, he was a mountain man. Like, I mean, this was like in the 80s, but he would go out and live by himself in a forest. He tried to eat poison ivy
Oh,
What?
wow.
so that he would be immune, but he didn't
Yeah.
prepare it properly, and so he got it inside of his body, and it was like,
Ooh,
but that's how he was just very natural, and he does
that's
come through
terrible.
a lot to people when they're just like, I don't know, I just get random messages from people like from Australia, and they're like, well, there's a spirit coming through and it's saying this and this and this. I just be like, well, that's my uncle or that's my grandma, and they just come in the most random times just when I need a message, it just makes me feel really loved. But
I'm getting as you're talking, I'm getting my guide's telling me she needs more protection. She needs more protection. That's all I keep hearing. So either you need to do more in the way of protection, or something's going to happen, that you need to protect yourself for and prepare yourself for it. So you need to do more with protection.
Yep.
Not worry about anybody else, because you worry about others before yourself.
Right.
Stop doing that. And you need to get yourself grounded, get yourself protected, because something's coming in that's going to be pretty big. It's going to go whoosh. It's going to take you off your feet. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself.
Okay.
It's not telling me anymore. Just protection. That's it.
Okay.
You know what to do. You need to implement it. That's it.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good that you got the heads up that you need to do something, with that.
Yeah.
You know how to make your witch's jar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You've got to, something's going to be happening within the next, but he says imminently, but imminently could be a few weeks, few months. Something's coming up that's big that you need to protect yourself from. You need to prepare yourself.
Yeah. I've been feeling that, and even my husband's been picking up on that. And you're just like situation with a family member, and I know what it is, and I'm just like putting that out there that I'm not going to deal with their stuff, right? Like, I'm protected and I'm safe and they're not pulling me in, but you can still feel like the bad intentions, right? And all of that stuff like coming towards you, and it can take you off your feet and make you feel like, everything's kind of falling for a while.
This is going to make you feel sick, I think. It's more than just knock you off your feet. It's going to be big. So just be prepared.
Okay. Well, good. That's good that you got the heads up.
You can deal with it, though. You're tough. You're tough stuff. Oh, yeah.
She's tough as anything. It's, she's been through some serious stuff that you really had to, pardon the pun, man up for,
Mm-hmm.
It's more like witch up, because we're tough,
Do you know what? Madam should change her name to Mother, because when I look at Madam, I just think, God, you're such an old soul. You've had so many lives. You've been here so many times. You know it. You've done it. You've got the T-shirt. You're coming back for another crack at it. I just feel that Madam's the wrong name. It should be Mother. Do you know what I mean?
I kind of feel like an old soul, like I have done this before, and why can't I get it right finally?
It's because I think it's because you enjoy it. You like to come back and you like to have another crack at the whip.
I like people, I do like people. I mean, and I get annoyed, especially in this day and age, people are the younger set. They're not exactly like we were, we grew up with some sort of integrity.
Well, it's just like this woke brigade, the millennials, they have no idea, do they? And that's including my children. I'm sorry, but I haven't got a clue.
My daughter's not too bad because, I raised her. So, I tried to give her a clue. And she's doing really quite well. And I'm amazed at how great she does for 21. She's managing her own life. And I'm very proud of her. But I think it's that 30-something crowd, the 30-something, the ones that we gave the trophy just for participating, and that was enough. You get the same thing he does because you came and, you showed up and you're special too. So they all think they're special and entitled now.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know, I used to tell my kids, they'd do their sports days and things. I'm so horrible to my kids. I don't mind admitting it. They'd say, oh, I came second in this race. I goes, well, you didn't win, did you? Because it's only winning and that's it.
yeah.
You know?
Well, sometimes they need that little push, you know?
And they say, oh, I came third in it. Oh, don't worry about that. Bronze is nothing. You know, my friends used to say to me, how can you say that to your kids? I said, I need to push them to be successful. They need to win.
Yeah.
Win at whatever it is that you're going to do. Put yourself in it wholeheartedly and win.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm proud that I've done that, because my boys, I've got 3 boys. Mm-hmm. All of them can iron a shirt. They can cook their own. They can cook their own food.
Nice.
They're self-sufficient. They don't need anyone in their life to do it for them.
And that's good. That's really good.
And at an early age, one of them reached a junior directorship at a big multinational firm. And the other son is a manager of a department. And my youngest son, well, he was the one with the dyslexia that's good with his hands. So, you know, I'm proud of all 3 of them. They don't have to rely on anyone, because I've told them, if you can't do it yourself, you're not winning. You're not winning.
Yeah. And that's great to, you know, for them to be self-sufficient is terrific, you know, because a lot of kids, you know, the helicopter parents, they didn't, if you don't give your children a chance to fail, then they don't know what that means. You know, they don't know, they don't know how to take failure. They don't know how to pick themselves up and go again.
That's it.
You know, and just be tenacious, you know, and determined, and to face it, even if it's hard, you know, and they have to do that. So my daughter, I used to make her walk home from the bus. It was about, it was maybe a quarter mile tops, but it gave her the chance to decompress after the bus and school and stuff. And she could think about things and listen to the birds chirp. And she'd get home and be, you know, very nice, you know, she'd be cordial. Whereas if I'd pick her up from the bus, she was grumpy and shitty. And so then I started leaving her. And some of the other parents, you make your kid walk? Of course.
Yeah.
She's got 2 feet, doesn't she?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. And it was good for her.
I always used to say to my children, like this, like today, this woke lot, I mean, rightly or wrongly, I might be controversial here. I've always told my kids, if somebody hits you, hit them back. unless they're a girl. You never lay a hand on a girl.
Right.
But if somebody hits you, you hit them back harder, but just don't get caught. That's all. Just don't get caught. Because I'm fed up with these people that say, oh, you should never hit anyone, you know, blah. You need to learn to defend yourself. And this is where today I think people and parents have got it all wrong. You know, somebody gets punched or God forbid, like it ever happens, like slash with a knife, and they go, you know, they're crying blue murder, and it's all a big, you know, my son today, if somebody was to punch him, he'd punch you straight back, you know, and that's it. It's job done. Yeah.
And honestly, you know, that's you kind of have to let people know that you're not going to take that crap, because otherwise they'll just keep dishing it on you, you know.
I think over where you are, you guys are a bit different though, because out there you've got the gun thing going on. See, we don't have guns.
That's true. I mean, you know, I have one under my pillow, so
you never know who's got a gun and who might go.
See, and that's the thing in America. You can pretty much rest assured that there's a gun behind every door, you know, pretty much. I mean, not everyone has weaponry, but most people have something, even if it's grandpa's old rusty, you know, 410 out in the, you know, up in the closet. You know, everybody's got some kind of weapon in their house usually. So, unless you're a felon, and then I don't recommend it.
if I was over there, you know, like a witch has an athame, I would use, honestly, you're the thing, I'm a crackpot. I would use a gun as an athame. That would be my athame.
Really?
And, yeah, because you've got the long part of it, you know, I don't know what you call the barrel of the gun.
The barrel, yeah.
I would use that in mixing and stirring, and that would be my athame. Because we don't have, because we don't have any guns over here, so it'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my weapon of
Well,
choice.
and it
That
makes
one.
you feel it makes you feel pretty powerful, when you're packing a weapon. Not even gonna lie, it's so dark out back here when I go outside at night. I take it with me when I go
Yeah.
outside to my shop, even though there's no one around, and probably the only thing I would see, I couldn't kill with a gun anyway, because I know that there's lots of spirits here. I think there's
I mean,
a portal here.
Really?
Yeah, how would I know if there was a portal here?
I don't believe in them personally.
No?
But I have known, and I do believe in ley lines, and where ley lines cross,
Uh-huh.
it can cause all sorts of murder and mayhem. So
How do you find these lines?
you can douse for them. You could douse for them.
Okay.
That's an easy way of doing it. Whatever your form of dowsing. I mean, I don't know if you use Y rods, the L rods, or just a crystal. Works easy, just as well. You'll be
Okay.
able to find your ley lines, and the exact point where they cross. I bet you that's the area where you think that's where the portal is. And I bet you any money that centre cross is where all.
I think it's right in my shop.
Unleashed.
I think it's right in my shoe shop, and that place is. There's something about that place out back here, and it's almost like I can hear like a train station, like a lot of voices in sort of like low tones, but you can't make out any one voice in particular. I hear that.
Oh, so they're coming in through there. Oh,
yeah. So it sounds like lots of voices. Sometimes it almost sounds like a Cubs game on the radio.
Could you sit in your shop when it's not open and just sit quietly and just try and tune in? Just try and sort of tune into one of those voices just to see if you can see what they're saying.
I'll try.
Really sort of slow the breathing. Okay. Don't concentrate on anything. Just concentrate on your breathing. Slow it right down, and the voices will come. Just see if you can just pick one of the voices out. Don't listen to all of them. Just one.
Okay. And I'll try that.
It's a bit like a radio. You'll hear it and then not hear it, and then you'll hear it and not hear it. Just don't give up. Just try and get that tune, fine tuning, so you can concentrate on one voice. Because there's many, it's harder to tune. You just have to pick that one voice and just see, what is that woman saying? What is she doing? What is she actually trying to say? What is she, it's like earwigging into a conversation. That's what we call it. But just concentrate on the one.
Eavesdropping is what we call it. But earwigging. That's good.
Earwigging. We call it earwigging.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I'll have to remember that. Yeah. I think we have a bug that we call it earwig here in the U.S. And it's not looking either. It's got little pincher things on it.
Yeah, they're not nice earwigs, but they call it an earwig.
Yeah. But, it's not nice to eavesdrop either, so.
It's how you get to learn things sometimes, like by just listening to others' conversations. And
I think people don't do that enough. Just stop and listen to what's around you. They don't stop and listen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
I have a jackhammer on the bridge again today. So I'm surprised you guys can't hear it. That's why I'm not outside, because they're running the jackhammer on the bridge again. It sounds like a dragon waking up or something.
Do you know the vibrations from that are brilliant? If you could get close to it, just sit and just feel that vibration from it on the ground. It's so invigorating. People are going to think I'm off my head, but it's just so it's so invigorating just to feel that vibration just run through your body. I mean, I was lucky enough when I was growing up. I used to get that from Concorde. It used to fly so low coming into land.
Yeah, the Concorde.
Yeah. But now Concorde stopped flying, and that's never going to happen again. But I'll never forget that feeling of that vibration that would come from the ground right up and through my body as she passed over. Yeah. So somebody working on the road, if it's close to your house, get out there.
I might be able to like get in the kayak and just go touch the pylon at the bottom.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's incredible. They've been doing this for a couple of years, and they'll do it anytime, day or night. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning and you'll hear them start up out there. Brrr.
Really?
Yeah, 24/7, anytime they can go. They'll be out there jackhammering. Because I'll look at the clock and go, really, really, guys, you know.
Mhm.
I know you can, but do you have to?
I'll be out there giving them what for. So you don't shut up, I'll be putting a spell on you.
Well, I do want him to hurry up and get done and get the hell out of my neighborhood. So, I don't want to hold him up too much.
I love your shirt, by the way, the skulls. Isn't that
Oh,
amazing?
Thank you. Yeah, well, Skeleton Key Network. Plus, I'm a chiropractor.
Oh, are you?
So I have a lot of stuff that's got bones or spines or, skulls, all that stuff. I was, my office had like glass cases across the hall, and they were filled with human skeletons.
Oh,
So
lovely.
I always call them my coworkers. I said, my coworkers, they're usually pretty quiet, and they don't bug me a lot for supplies and stuff, things like that.
Do you know, I've always wanted a full human skeleton.
Yeah. The osteological collection at Palmer College is absolutely amazing if you ever get a chance to go there and check it out. So
I'm on the verge of purchasing my first human skull, just the skull.
Oh, yeah.
They're not cheap. They're quite expensive.
No, they're very expensive. Most of them come from India.
Yeah, so I've been seeing some Haitian ones that I really like that have got decorations on them, and they're about £3,000 or £4,000.
Oh, so, that's a lot.
Yeah, so
$1,000 or something.
I'm just biding my time, but a friend of mine has a full skeleton and 2 child skulls that were found buried within a castle.
Oh, wow.
Long story short, he's now got them in his museum and he's got them in a case. And I said to him, when you die, I said, can you do me a favour? He goes, what's that? I goes, can I have that? And he went, what, that? He's going, yeah. I said, can you write me in your will and just leave me that? I said, he said, what do you want that? He goes, oh. I said, no, seriously, put me in your will, just that. He went, yeah, all right then, Viv. I said, no, I'm being serious. Just leave me that in your will because I'll never be able to afford one. He said, okay, I'll write you in my will. I know that he won't. He'd sell it on just to make a buck.
It's fascinating when you look at the human skeleton and you're learning, like we learned every little bump and groove and hole in every bone, and to think that is happening right now. Like blood vessels are going through these holes and supplying all my tissues, and that everything that you're learning about you have in your body, and it is occurring as you are learning. It's incredible. You're learning about the Krebs cycle. Meanwhile, Krebs cycle's going on inside of you. It's just it's incredible.
Over here, I was lucky enough, not once but twice, I went to the Body Worlds exhibition, which is Gunther van Hagen's, and he plastinates the human body. It sounds so macabre, but it's really interesting.
Like a blown up view, kind of. It's really neat. Those are super cool.
Yeah. But he took a human body and took the skin off in one piece and draped it over the arm. So you see all the muscular version of you, but with the skin draped over the arm. And I was able to get so close to it. I saw a tattoo. I saw the hair. I saw the hair on the. It was just so amazing. I was just gobsmacked. I thought, how on earth has this man done that? And he's even sliced a human body. So and he opened the slices up so you could walk in and out between the slices.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
And I just thought this man, he's been deemed a monster, but he's done so much for medical science.
Exactly.
Yeah, he should get the Nobel Peace Prize or something. I don't know for doing that. But this guy's never been recognised for his work. But I just think
that's absolutely amazing that what he has done with the human body, and it's a great learning tool. I mean, it's magnificent because people don't even know this machine is really complex, and most people don't have a clue how it works. But you carry it around every day.
I think the most complex part of our bodies is our brain, because there's so much
yeah.
of it we don't use. You know, like we talked about earlier about using intention to set
Mm-hmm.
your sights, your goals, and you know, and that starts from here. You
Mm-hmm.
know, me putting my hand up and down like this,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Right.
Again, that's intention. It starts from
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Telepathic communication starts from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mediumship, everything. It all starts from here,
Yeah.
and
It's powerful.
I think people need to start using this again. You know, think
Mhm.
before you do something, because people don't.
We're talking
they
Mm-hmm.
part of your brain that you don't use could be potentially storage for your previous lives.
Well, I when I teach people mediumship, I can take someone that has nothing, and at the end of our classes, they'll be feeling something, and then it's up to them whether they'll want to continue or not. But there's a back part of the brain which lies dormant. So when you go into meditation and you've really calmed yourself down and really what I call zoned out, you open up that back part of the brain. And it's that part of the brain that all mediumship stems from. Also dowsing, it's that part of the brain, whether you realise it or not.
Yeah.
Using Ouija boards, all of that. It's
Is
all
it
that
like the
part of the.
occipital lobe? Is
It's
where
it's the bottom part. It's the bottom. You've got the conscious and subconscious mind that operates
it'd be
there.
like your brain stem, the brain stem.
It's the because your brain's split up into four parts.
Mm-hmm.
There's four parts of it, and it's the bottom part of the bottom part. There's an area within that bottom part on both sides that we don't access and we don't use. It's that
Okay.
part there.
I'll be looking into that a little bit more because
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So when you sit and meditate and you're
Mm-hmm.
saying that you're not using all of your brain, in fact you are. You're opening
Mm-hmm.
yourself up
Mm-hmm.
completely. And it's you that's doing it. You've got to learn to control it. So that's
Yeah.
why some people can do it easily and some people can't. You
Mm-hmm.
know, some people have difficulties in breaking down those barriers. In fact, just
Right.
accessing that part of the brain. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think some of it too is training.
Yeah.
You've been trained maybe to not let that stuff come out, or not to not have those abilities.
Yeah.
So I think that some of it is training for sure. But
Definitely.
my uncle used to meditate, and he would sit down in the chair, and he'd say, I'm gonna meditate now," and we'd say, "Okay, uncle," and he would then, before maybe 5-10 minutes go by, you hear soft snoring from the chair, and so we'd say,
It sounds
"Uncle's
like Dan.
he's there, he's meditating again."
It sounds like Dan. Dan says to me, "Oh, do you know what, Viv?" He says, "I can't do this mediumship. Oh, I'm just you." I said, "Dan," I said, "You've got to sit and meditate." And I know full well if our Dan sat down quietly for a few minutes when I'm out and about with him, he'd be asleep. It's just
Yeah, that was like
because
my uncle.
the paranormal side of it is brilliant. Going out and investigating with Dan,
Yeah.
and not a lot scares him because he's a man to start with, but he worked at a zoo. He worked in a zoo as a zookeeper, and he's witnessed some really really weird stuff with animals. And he's all right. He's just he's not that he's a non-believer. He does believe. So
Uh-huh.
when he sees something and he's calling, "Oh, come forward, come talk to me," I'll say, "No, let them stay where they are." He says, "No, no, no." He said, "Let them all come forward." And I said, "No." I said, "If there's more of them than there is of us, I'm legging it this way, because I don't know sometimes what I'm dealing with,
Yeah.
because sometimes things are not so straightforward." And
Can
he says, "Oh,
spirits
yeah,
come through and injure you? Like
yes,
like seriously injure you?
yes, yes,
Okay. All
yes."
right.
I've been thrown against a wall before now. People think I'm mental when I tell them that. I bought something home. It wasn't very nice. It threw me against a wall, and I suffered with. I had fingerprints round here where they were
Wow.
choking me and throwing me against the wall, all down my left side, my shoulder, my arm, my hip, and the side of my leg. It hurt for months. The
Wow.
aggression was that much.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh, spirit can't hurt you." Yes, they can, and it doesn't
Well,
mean
it's
that
good
this
to know.
person doesn't mean that they were evil. I don't think they were evil at all.
Uh-huh.
I just think they didn't like me, and because they could do that, they did. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Not demonic, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just didn't like me.
Do you think there are demons out there, like demonic presences that are truly like evil to the core?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I don't think they're in America, to be honest. They're not in
Fair
England
enough.
either.
We're kind of new over here.
They're not in England either, unless you're
Yeah.
going to summon them. But a lot of these originate in the Middle East. They're very old, ancient.
Mhm.
I'm not going to call them beings because they were never a being. So Middle East, Africa, those areas, they do exist. But I
Yeah.
think people have fallen into the category of saying they don't know something or don't understand it. It's demonic.
Right.
I can't say that
Yeah.
word. It's not the case at all. It's because you feel frightened, you don't understand it, therefore it must be evil. That's not the case at all. Learn to understand it, learn what it is, and then you won't be calling it demonic. Simple as that.
Right. All right. Well, we're at 59 minutes and 26 seconds. So I think there
That's
may
gone
be
quick.
after us, so we have to go. But it's been just absolutely delightful having you. Is there anything you want to quickly announce?
No, I mean I'm on I do podcasts on a Tuesday, Things Network at UK time 7:00. I have
Okay.
Simply Spooky with Dan on a Wednesday at UK time 8:00.
Okay.
But if anyone wants to know anything, they can always reach out to me on Facebook.
Yep.
My name's Vivian Powell, not Spooky Viv.
And Nellie has a book out. She's touring with right now. So
Oh wow!
yeah. And the name of your book again, Nellie?
It's Ancient Paths. It's
Right, that's
it's about fairies, and it's a magical path through Ireland.
Nellie
Okay.
Mack. Can I find you on Facebook as Nellie Mack?
Yep, absolutely.
I get you
All
on to
right.
talk about your book and your
Okay.
madam as well.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Viv, and it's been great chatting with you and stuff. And
Mhm.
thanks, Nellie, for hosting with me. And
Yep.
we'll be back next week on Friday morning with another hour of fun for you guys. So everybody have a great day and blessed
Take care,
be.
everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.